When a plane goes down, the world watches in horror. But when it's all caught on camera, the fear becomes real, raw, unfiltered, unforgettable. In this video, we'll take a look at 10 shocking plane crashes that were caught on camera. These are real events. Some ended in survival, others in tragedy. Let's count them down.
It means we're in the dark. So make sure your teen knows. If you're curious,
there is no explanation that a 9-year-old, I think of my daughter Kate, or even a 12-year-old like my son.
I think it was perfectly right and proper that the CAA.
10. Jet slammed into highway. Red Wings Airlines, Flight 9268. On December 29, 2012, Red Wings Airlines Flight 9268 was attempting to land at Moscow's Vnukovo Airport when disaster struck. The Antonov An-148 flying from Sochi encountered snowy conditions, and during the landing, the plane's brakes failed. Unable to stop, the aircraft skidded off the icy runway and crashed into a barrier near a busy highway. A dashcam from a passing car captured the terrifying moment as metal debris flew across the road. 5 of the 8 crew members on board lost their lives in this tragic incident. The crash was even more shocking because the same plane had experienced similar braking issues just days before. The footage spread quickly, showing the wreckage spilling onto the highway. This disaster highlighted significant flaws in the aircraft's maintenance, raising serious concerns about the safety checks in place. The images of the crash serve as a haunting reminder of how quickly a routine flight can turn into a tragedy. 9. A deadly loop, Shoreham Airshow disaster. In 2015, during the Shoreham Airshow in the UK, a vintage Hawker Hunter jet attempted a loop maneuver, but the pilot misjudged the height and failed to gain enough altitude. The plane crashed onto a road near the airshow, striking cars and bikes that were simply passing by. Tragically, 11 people lost their lives. None of them were at the show. They were just ordinary people on their way somewhere. The pilot survived the crash and later faced trial for manslaughter. However, he was found not guilty. Despite this, the disaster had a lasting impact, prompting changes in how air shows are managed, particularly around public roads. Safety measures were re-evaluated to ensure that something like this would never happen again. 8. Crash at sea, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961. In 1996, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961 was hijacked by 3 men who seized control of the plane and forced the pilots to fly toward Australia. But the aircraft was running low on fuel, and the situation became dire. The pilots attempted to land in the ocean, near the Comoros Islands, in a desperate attempt to save the lives on board. As the plane plunged toward the water, a tourist captured the heart-stopping moment on camera. The footage showed the plane slamming into the ocean, breaking apart upon impact and sending debris scattering across the water. Out of the 175 people aboard, only 50 survived the crash. Many passengers were unable to make it due to the chaotic and violent impact, as well as the difficulties in reaching rescue teams. The crash remains one of the most shocking and dramatic water landings ever caught on tape. It also serves as a reminder of the terrifying risks hijacked planes pose and the bravery of pilots in trying to minimize the disaster. 7. Explosion after ejection, CF-18 airshow crash. In 2010, during an airshow practice in Canada, a CF-18 Hornet fighter jet suddenly lost power while flying dangerously low over the runway. Captain Brian Bew, the pilot, realized the jet was about to crash. With mere seconds to react, he pulled the eject handle, sending him shooting into the air just as the jet exploded behind him. The flames shot high into the sky, creating a terrifying spectacle. Thankfully, Captain Bew survived the harrowing incident, but not without suffering serious back injuries. The entire crash, caught on camera, became an essential piece of footage for emergency training. It showed the intensity and urgency of ejection procedures, offering valuable lessons to future pilots facing life-or-death situations. 6. Fire in the sky, Ramstein Airshow tragedy. In 1988, an unimaginable disaster unfolded during an air show at the Ramstein U.S. Air Base in Germany. Italian Air Force jets were performing a complex maneuver when one pilot misjudged his timing, colliding with others in mid-air. The impact caused 3 planes to explode, sending fiery wreckage tumbling toward the crowd below. The terrifying chaos didn't end there. As the wreckage fell, parts of the crowd's stands caught fire. A police car exploded, and people were seen running for their lives, many with their clothes burning. The fiery scene was captured on camera, forever marking the event in history as one of the deadliest air show accidents. In total, 67 spectators and 3 pilots lost their lives, and over 500 others were injured in the horrifying incident. The tragic event changed how air shows were regulated and how safety measures were implemented at public events. 5. Too low, too slow. Asiana Airlines Flight 214. In 2013, Asiana Airlines Flight 214 was making its approach to San Francisco International Airport. As the plane descended toward the runway, something went terribly wrong. The aircraft came in too low and too slow. The tail of the plane struck a seawall at the end of the runway, ripping off upon impact. The force of the crash sent the plane skidding across the runway, and flames quickly engulfed the wreckage. Out of the 307 people on board, 3 tragically lost their lives, and nearly 200 others were injured. Among the survivors was a teenage girl who, after escaping the wreckage, was tragically struck and killed by a rescue vehicle in the chaotic aftermath. The investigation into the crash revealed that pilot error played a significant role. The pilots, who had misunderstood the plane's systems, misjudged the descent and landing approach. This devastating incident prompted increased scrutiny over pilot training and procedures for automated systems in aircraft, forever changing the way airports and airlines handle such situations. 4. Winds of destruction. China Airlines Flight 642. In 1999, China Airlines Flight 642 was making its way to Hong Kong during the height of Tropical Storm Sam. The storm unleashed fierce winds that battered the MD-11 as it attempted to land. As the plane struggled against the elements, the wing struck the ground, causing the landing gear to collapse. The impact caused the plane to flip over and explode into flames. Out of the 300-plus people on board, miraculously only 3 lost their lives, though more than 200 passengers were injured. The chaos and destruction of the crash were captured on tape, showing just how violent the landing was. The footage remains one of the most shocking and harrowing examples of a plane trying to land in extreme weather conditions. The disaster highlighted the dangers of flying during severe storms and raised questions about the safety of aircraft during turbulent conditions. It also led to a re-evaluation of weather-related landing protocols and improved safety measures for such circumstances. 3. Falling apart mid-air. C-130 firefighting crash. In 2002, a C-130 Hercules aircraft was on a firefighting mission over a wildfire in California, releasing fire retardant to help control the blaze. Suddenly, disaster struck. Both of the plane's wings tore off simultaneously, causing the aircraft to flip and plummet to the ground. Tragically, all 3 crew members aboard were killed. The crash was caught on camera by news helicopters, capturing the heart-stopping moment of the plane's catastrophic failure. Upon investigation, it was determined that the plane had suffered from metal fatigue that had gone unnoticed, despite routine inspections. This shocking incident led to significant changes in how older aircraft, especially those used in high-risk firefighting missions, are inspected and maintained. The crash highlighted the severe risks involved in using aging military aircraft for such critical tasks and prompted new safety protocols to ensure no other lives would be lost in similar circumstances. 2. Bomber gone wrong. Fairchild B-52 crash. In 1994, at Fairchild Air Force Base in Washington, a B-52 bomber was getting ready for an air show performance. The pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Arthur Holland, was known for pushing the limits and flying dangerously low. During a practice run, the massive bomber attempted a tight turn but didn't gain enough altitude. The plane stalled, and in a terrifying moment, it crashed into the ground in a massive fireball. Tragically, all 4 crew members lost their lives. The horrific crash was captured on camera from the ground, and the footage has since become one of the most analyzed military crashes in history. The investigation revealed that the pilot's risky maneuvers and the tight turn contributed to the disaster. The event led to sweeping changes in the U.S. Air Force's safety protocols, emphasizing the importance of safe flight practices even in high-stakes public performances. The Fairchild B-52 crash serves as a grim reminder of the risks involved in aviation and the need for strict adherence to safety guidelines. 1. Mid-air collision horror. Airshow catastrophe at Ramstein. In 1988, the world watched in shock as a horrific disaster unfolded at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany. During a high-stakes airshow, 3 jets from the Italian display team attempted a complex maneuver. Unfortunately, something went terribly wrong. The jets collided mid-air, and one of them plummeted like a missile into the crowd below. The explosion sent a fireball across the viewing area, causing widespread panic. Flames spread rapidly, and people were caught in the chaos as emergency services rushed to the scene. Tragically, the disaster claimed 67 lives, including 3 pilots, and left more than 500 spectators injured. The aftermath of the crash was a nightmare of destruction and suffering, all captured on camera for the world to see. These crashes were shocking, tragic, and unforgettable. They remind us that flying, while generally safe, carries real risks when things go wrong. Some of these events brought major changes to safety rules. Others remain haunting reminders of the cost of human error. If you found this video informative, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the skies. Click any of these videos and I'll see you in a moment.